It's me, Scottie McClue, and we are, of course, live on the big one, the internet phone-in on Friday night. How amazing is that? Friday night, nothing gets past me, and it's Friday the 15th of October, 2021. And here we are all together again with our Friday night internet phone-in. And I can tell you that 10 o'clock is the best time for it. Everybody has agreed that. And I thought, well, why not 10 o'clock it is? How amazing is that? Thank you very much for joining us. And also, we're joined on TikTok. Welcome to all our wonderful TikTokers. We'll just get you sorted out. Fantastic stuff. And there we go. Let me do that. That's it. That's wonderful. That's everybody sorted out on TikTok, everybody sorted out on YouTube, on Twitch, on LinkedIn Live, and on Facebook Live. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, let's just see what else is happening here. I could give you a little bit of that, if that would help you, just to let you know what is what. The number is there. Do give us a call. We'll see what's happening on the chat. Good evening, says the wonderful Dee Gurley. Good evening, Dee. Hi, Scottie, says Susan. Hello, Susan. Lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome. Now, we'll see if the phones are open. We'll just check everything's working there. Should be fantastic. So if you want to give me a call, feel free so to do. One or two people were saying the other night, all we can see is your hat when you're watching me. So you should be able to see a bit more tonight. And a very warm welcome, I say, love to all you beautiful TikTokers. Dinky-Doo. The reason for which this planet continues to turn. Good evening, sir. Kirby the Annihilator. What a privilege and a joy to have you with us on our Friday night phone-in. Marvellous stuff. That's what it's all about, Dinky-Doo. All right, Scottie, says Rab. Hi, says Kareem. Good evening, Lord McClue. Dinky-Doo. Evening, Scottie, my good man, says the wonderful Murray O'Donnell. Absolute top man. That's better, says Dee. Is that better, Dee? Excellent stuff. Hey, says Kareem. Dinky-Doo, Kareem. Hi, Dee, says Susan. All right, Scottie, says Rab. Fantastic stuff. How's it going, Scottie? It's superb, Ban Laura. Good to have you with us, Dinky-Doo. Scottie McClue, how do you do? TSM, lovely to have you with us, and a warm welcome to our TikTok tonight. Fantastic stuff. We're number 53. 53 phone-ins, and it's building quite beautifully. We need more of you to go on to YouTube and to subscribe and tap the bell. Otherwise, you won't get your notifications. Remember, we're on Monday through until Thursday, 9 o'clock, and then Friday and Saturday, 10 o'clock. That's what it's about. Dinky-Doo, I say. Motorbikes has sent me red roses. Thank you, Motorbikes. You're very, very kind. Betty says, even money, Kareem phones first. We'll see how it goes, Betty. Shall we take Betty's bet? Are you actually not called Betty? Do you just like betting? Even money. Right, let's see what the stakes are. I remember going into the butcher's. He said, I have to put 2 very fine cuts of meat up there. He said, I bet you can't reach them. I said, I'm not taking the bet. The stakes are too high. That's what I reckoned. Let's just see that the phones are actually open then, if we're wanting to see who's going to phone. Yes, they should be. We should have that. Here we go. You're live in Scottie's phone-in. Who's that?
Martin, Scottie. How are you doing?
Martin, Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have you with us.
How are you, buddy?
I'm great, buddy. How are you getting on?
I am doing great. How's your day been?
Beautiful, yes. What's happening with you?
And the topic I want to discuss tonight is Loch Lomond. I want to know the history of Loch Ness.
Loch Ness? Well, the history of any loch, Martin, is that it's just a flooded valley.
Is it?
Yes, that's what's happened. And you've got an inlet and an outlet. But your inlet and your outlet aren't letting all the water in or out, so it fills up. All the rivers run into the lochs, and the lochs run into the sea.
Yes.
So you see, Loch Ness, you've got Inverness, the mouth of the River Ness. Yes. So that comes in from the Murray Firth. Yes. You've got the mouth of the River Ness, and it fills up Loch Ness. And then that comes out at the other side. So you'll have a sea loch. It'll come out at Fort William.
Yes.
And then you're into the sea loch. Isn't that fantastic?
Yes. And have you been to Inverary?
Oh, I know Inverary very, very well. I remember attending the Duke of Argyll's funeral.
Yes.
Yes, a very sad day. He was quite a young man. He was about 63, I think.
Yes.
Yes, and it was incredible. It was quite an experience.
I actually live in a village called Ardrossan.
I know Ardrossan. Is it not actually more of a small town than a village?
It's a big town. It's 3 towns. Like, there's Stevenson, there's Saltcoats, and there's Ardrossan.
So Saltcoats, Stevenson, and Ardrossan. And do they make up what's called Ardrossan then?
Yes.
Yes, I've got you now. So they kind of, one runs into the other.
Yes.
A bit like Inverness and Loch Ness and Fort William.
Yes. What about Skye?
Skye, what do you want to know about Skye? What's somebody from Skye called? What are they called, Martin?
What?
If they're from Skye, what would they be called?
I don't know.
They're a Scienach.
Are they?
A Scienach, yes. And if you're from Harris, you would be a Herach. And if you're from Lewis, you'd be a Yosach.
Wow.
If you're from Ailey, you'd be an Eliach. What about that?
Nice.
Yes.
So, is this...
And if you're a lassie from Call, you'd be a Call girl.
Is this your last phone in, or is there any more coming in?
Is there what, sorry?
Is this your last phone in, or have you been...
No, my last morning phone in was this morning, 10 till 11, and you were on it, which is fabulous.
Good.
Yes.
So how do I keep in contact with you when you finish?
Well, no, what we'll be doing, I'll not be finishing the night ones, so you can join the night ones, and they go out from 9 till 10, Monday to Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, 10 till 11.
Cool.
So that's rather good, isn't it?
See, on TikTok, if you did follow me, are you okay for me to drop you a PM, like a personal...
Well, yes, but I don't follow anybody on TikTok because people get jealous and go, how come you followed him and no me?
I know.
They all want followed by Scottie McClue, you see. So we've said, okay, guys, here's the deal. You follow me, and that's that. And they've said, no, that's fine. So 18,000 people have very kindly followed me, and that should be going up.
Cool.
You know, I think that's good stuff. And I think 45,000 people have liked the videos, and 800,000 people have watched the videos.
Cool. I followed you on YouTube. I followed you on TikTok.
Right.
I also followed you on Twitch. That's next.
Twitch, Scottie_McClue. And then you can follow me on Facebook, Martin.
Yeah.
Yes, so have a look at that as well. That's an absolute cracker.
See hi.
The Facebook page. Listen, I better press on, but it's lovely to hear from you. And Betty's lost her bet.
Okay, so I'll phone you back later on before you close.
Yes, you're allowed 2 calls a night, Martin.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, mate.
Dinky-Doo, love you lots.
Love you too. Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye now. There we are. That's our Martin. Excellent stuff, Dinky-Doo. Betty, even money. It was Martin that phoned first. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. No payout on that one. I'm from Lewis, says Darchie. Darchie McLeod. You're a McLeod from Lewis. Kamaraha Hakama, I say to you. Right, who's this on the phone in? You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scotty. It's Kareem.
Kareem, excellent. Poor Betty lost her bet.
I know, I had a wee chuckle there.
Now, how are we doing?
Not too bad. A very, very cold day today.
Oh, my goodness, was it cold, but it was beautiful as well.
It was. Yeah.
It was beautiful as well. And the traffic's quite slow where you said from Carlisle.
Yes.
Yes, the traffic's very slow from, I don't know where you'd say, Les Mahagel, from the Gow.
On the motorway.
Aye, so they're doing a lot of repairs. I think that's it. And of course, a holiday. Although the traffic was very slow all through central Scotland today.
I noticed that because I was down around about Pollokshaws, Glasgow area.
Yes.
And all the roads there were just absolutely chocker.
Yes, really absolutely. So I don't know if it was people coming back from holiday, going on holiday, just going about their business because things are opening up.
Well, I think they're all just rushing back to get onto the live phone-in, Scott.
I think that's what it is. They were all rushing home for Scottie McClue's phone-in.
Absolutely.
Listen, Kareem, mark my words, that may well be the case. In fact, that will be the case.
It's growing, Scotty, every single day.
It's growing all the time. And even the YouTube, just tiny, tiny bits, but it makes such a difference when people subscribe and tap the bell. Because let's be honest with it, it's just laziness. I mean, TikTok, 800,000 have seen the videos, 18,000 have followed. Now, these followers, there should be at least 300,000 or 400,000 followers.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's not, that's just sheer laziness on the part of people.
I like how you've got your new videos about the subscription and showing people how to do it. I think that's really good idea.
Did you like that one? It's only 10 seconds, Kareem, but it gets the message across.
Absolutely, it gets the point.
You know, because folk are saying, I don't know where his YouTube channel is, and they don't want to put it into a search engine, Scottie McClue YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, it's all there for them to see on the video.
Absolutely fantastic. Jukin Newcomb, Scottie, you could be the new, and he mentions a late night radio chat show host. That sounds great.
Yes. Scottie, before I go on, I just want to say my condolences to the terrible tragedy that has happened down Essex way.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, Sir David Amos, yes. Yeah, shocking. Yeah. And do you know that he'd actually spoken about stabbing about a constituent that was stabbed?
Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely.
You know, he's actually spoken about it in the House. I remember seeing it. Bless him. Bless him. I say it's very unfortunate because it makes you think, why would you want to be an MP? And yet you can't bow down to, as you would say, the minority dictating to the majority. You know, but we've had a few tragedies with MPs, and it's this is why I think maybe for police or for something like that, bring back the death penalty.
I agree, Scottie.
And say if you harm anybody, you will be punished. But if you harm a public servant doing their duty, you will forfeit your life. You will be hanged.
You'll get these ones that say, well, what about that person's human rights? It's like, it's not fair.
No, I think if you've taken a life, you've forfeited your human rights. You've said, I am no longer a human being.
Well,
I am out with the human race.
I won't go into detail about it, but there was a case in Glasgow that there was, I think it was a 30-year-old man that raped and murdered an elderly woman, and he'd been sentenced today, something like that, I believe, capital punishment, because that's just an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, well, we'll not mention, as you say, any case, because these things are live and it becomes a minefield. But you know, definitely condolences, of course, to the family of Sir David. You know, I mean, obviously a wonderful man. And parties don't even come into it at all. We're talking about human beings. We're talking about people's lives.
Yes. I know David Mandel said he actually messaged him earlier on. They were having like text messages earlier on in the day. And he was, not that he's my favourite person, Mandel, but I mean, you've got to feel sorry in these situations, as you said.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all got different people for different reasons. There's very few of these MPs that I think, oh, dear goodness, not my favourite person. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, if they're on the opposite side to what you believe, you know, then you're going to have less time for them. But, you know, they are still doing a wonderful job.
don't wish anything bad upon
Never
anybody
on
like that.
any other human being.
Yep. But it makes you think, Scotty, in terms of security. And that's going to have, I think, an implication now throughout in the coming months. With if you want to go and see your local MP or MSP, you know, it's going to be severely restricted now.
Yeah. And I mean, all it's
like
doing is spoiling it for people, because you see, Downing Street, when I was wee, you could actually walk up and down Downing Street.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I got chased by the policeman for getting my photo taken holding a £1 note at the front door of number 11.
Wow. Could you imagine that now?
Right, and the policeman came over, he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just having a photo." He went, "Go on, scatter."
Wow.
You know, and that was it. You know, we got chased, and I was holding a quid up, and you could walk up and down Downing Street. You could do all these things. It was fantastic. I even remember standing, seeing the Queen coming back from a riding, a riding session.
Ah, right.
You know, just stood there and saw the Queen coming back. Fantastic.
Have you ever been in Buckingham Palace, like in a tour?
Not in Buckingham Palace. I know Windsor Castle like the back of my hand. I haven't been to Balmoral, but I was part of a situation where we got permission to overfly Balmoral. So I was up in a Fokker Friendship overflying Balmoral with permission.
Wow.
Tremendous, and it was just wonderful to see it. And Holyrood, of course, I know inside out as well. So there you are. I don't know Sandringham.
Right, okay.
You know?
But lovely. I would like to see, obviously, I would love to actually see the Scottish Parliament. You know, I've been in the outside many a march, but I've never been inside.
Well, I haven't been in, but the editors of the papers have all said to me in the past, "Scotty, anytime you want to see the Parliament, give us a shout." Yeah. You know, it's wonderful to be in that position. It really is. I see it as a huge privilege. And of course, I would never abuse the privilege, but I will get round to going to the Parliament. It's purely, believe it or not, Kareem, it's purely time. The phone-in is my leisure time.
Yes.
Because I think I'm away to speak to the world and see what's happening. Get a chat with Kareem. You know, that's what I think. This is my leisure time. I can't go gardening at this time of night. I would be laughed off the park for washing the car. So I think I'll pop up and have a word with the world.
Yes, and the world appreciates that.
And the world pops up and has a word with me.
Absolutely. So I've got my car back. I think I don't know if I said that this morning.
Yeah, well, you told me it was around the 3-ton mark.
Yeah, so
excellent.
Got that back. Very happy with that. Well, Scotty, I'll say DINKY-DOO. I'll let some other callers
DINKY-DOO, Kareem, and we've got some lovely.
Call later on, depending who's on and what is said.
Aye, well, you know, you've got another call, Kareem, and it's always quality.
Thank you. I'll see you later, Scotty.
Good night. God bless. DINKY-DOO. There we are. That's our Kareem Even Money. He was on. Back to the telephones. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
What a stupid, boring call that was.
Oh, numpty heat. What are you? It's not numpty heat. It's meaty boy. Why do you come on doing this? Because you are turning the nation against you. Listen.
We had a good relationship.
Yeah, well, we still would have, but not if you're going to go slagging interesting, clever, intelligent callers.
I used to go on your website, and
yes,
you had a fantastic forum.
We had a fabulous forum. Do you remember the live website broadcasts 10 years ago? And the forum, long before people had taken to other social media, they were on Scottie McClue's forum.
You had set up a fantastic website.
Yes, it's still there, www.scottie-mcclue.com.
Oh, I'm going to go on and see if
Go on and have a look. Have a look at the pictures, have a look at the press, listen to some of the videos, watch the videos.
The comments, the discussions, the afterbate.
Huge.
was
huge.
absolutely
Yep.
fantastic.
And we're building that on here as well. And you should be part of it rather than cheeking up about other callers.
Well, listen, I'm finding some of the callers a bit boring. I'm sorry to say
So
that.
tell me what you found boring about Kareem.
Right, okay.
Come on, spit it out. Let's have it out.
Right, he wants to talk about the weather. I'm sorry, but everyone has a weather.
He doesn't want to talk about the weather. He mentioned the weather. He said it's been a cold day, meaning there's a seasonal change.
No, listen, buddy boy, I went up on my PA28 this morning. I had to get a QNH and QFE, query nautical height, critical field elevation. I had to make sure the altimeter was set for the field and the
right, well, you should know about the weather, so you should say Kareem's quite right.
Oh, totally
yes.
Rubbish.
Now then, have you got anything to say, because the calls are coming in here?
Right.
So you've got another few seconds to redeem yourself.
I can't come on tomorrow night or Sunday night because I'm away.
Betty Joe says he doesn't have talk some nonsense.
I want to try and re-establish our relationship.
Right. Well, you were going about it the wrong way.
No, you're going about.
No, I'm spot on.
Criticizing me. You're criticizing.
Yes, I think I've had enough of your nonsense for one night. Right, he's gone. Dinky-Doo. That's matey boy Doon the Swanee. Now, who have we got here? Let's see what's happening in the chat. Here we go. This is fantastic. Now, good morning, Scotty, Lord Mayor of the Internet, Dinky-Doo from Australia. Frank, lovely to have you with us from Australia. And a big Dinky-Doo to you. Cup of tea or water, Lord McClue? Both. Sip of tea. Lovely. And we've got the water. Fantastic. So we are laughing. Off we go to the telephones. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
It's Charlie, Scotty. Good evening, Dinky-Doo.
Charlie, lovely to have you with us, and Dinky-Doo to you.
And you likewise on this fine Friday evening.
Nice to get an intelligent call again. We had Kareem, and then we had matey boy just being silly.
Okay, yep. Well, thanks very much for the compliment, Scotty.
Not at all, Charlie.
Yep. Back at you, Scotty.
Straight back at you, buddy. Top man.
Of course. Scotty, I don't want to I know it's been quite a sad day
yes.
what happened. And I don't want to, obviously, it's an ongoing case, so I'll be very careful with what I say. But I think there's certainly, the need. I spoke to a colleague in work today, and when that news had transpired, I thought, you know what, they're going to have to look at the security of the MPs and obviously the MSPs as well, because that could happen anywhere. I just think it takes a certain type of person, that we could get in and do that for, somebody that serves the community.
Well, I can remember going way back at the height of the Irish Troubles, and there were terrorists who were killing MPs, members of the government, and things like that. Now, I've always said there is never, ever, 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 ever a case for violence, ever. Now, if you go back in time, you've got assassinations of great people, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi. So there's always been this, Indira Gandhi, Mr. Nehru's daughter. So there's always been these dreadful, dreadful, dreadful things happening in the world. And it just cannot be countenanced. The punishment must, be an eye for an eye, a life for a life. And yet Mahatma Gandhi, said, if you took an eye for an eye, the whole world would be blind.
I maybe don't really agree with that. Statement really, an eye for an eye, everybody would be blind, because how far do you take that eye from someone in that sense, But
But I honestly think, for what happened today it was absolutely appalling, and it might also be that that they'll look at this situation and say, well, we'll use him or her. Let's as I say, not finger pointing as the stage, but let's use them as an example. I think it's absolutely appalling, though, and when I said to the colleague earlier on today, I said they're going to have to revisit the security out on this.
A big style, but I mean, the world should not be like that. As I say, I remember walking up and down Downing Street. I remember going to the door of number 11, nobody batted an eyelid, and eventually a policeman chased us for getting a photo taken,
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, it's been a sad day out, and I mean, the man served 38 years in politics and helping communities, and he was
absolutely
never a front bench.
An outstanding MP and somebody who campaigned against violence and in particular a stabbing in his constituency.
Absolutely, animal lover and all that, etc.
Wonderful man. No. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. I don't want to take up the whole phone-in with that because exactly. That to an extent is mainstream media's job to look at all these things. We tend to be more light-hearted, but I think out of respect and send condolences to his family, we're all absolutely shocked by that. All shocked.
Absolutely.
I
would say really that's something I've got to say is, we need to sort that. I mean, I could probably say other things or so. I mean, what was your, I missed the start of your show, I got a call. What was your topics today?
Oh, well, we're into all sorts of topics. We don't actually set the topics because the great strength of the Scottie McClue phone-ins have always been that we discuss all sorts of things. So I don't want to limit it too much. I will set topics if I feel people aren't handling it, but we're awash with calls, Charlie.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Scottie, with that in mind, then I'll let you go and let other people get through. So DINKY-DOO.
But thank you very much for that. Thank you for bringing it up because it's such a sensitive subject and it does have to be faced. And I appreciate your call, Charlie.
Thanks very much and good evening, Scottie.
Good evening. Thank you very much, buddy. There we go. To the telephones as quickly as possible. Lots to get on with tonight. Now, what do we got? Top man, Scottie. Thank you, Billy. And if you're from Glasgow, you're a bampot. Only kidding. Nobody start. Follow me, Scottie, and I'll foot the police. Follow me, Scottie. Call my daughter Sky from the beautiful place. Yes, D, absolutely. A life for a life, says Jordan. I agree, Scottie. A life for a life, says Frank. Can you do an extra wee half hour the night, Lord McClue? DINKY-DOO the news, Scottie McClue, says Eddie. Matey boy, lol. Hi, everyone. Lol, gobby. Matey boy's got one more call, but that's it. Sabra moon the neck jick. Eddie, what are you at? Matey boy is a bit of a banger. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I can hardly see the size of text for the phone number. Can someone text the number? Eddie, I'll put it up for you. Hang on. Let's get this up. There you go, Eddie. You can't miss that. Fantastic stuff. DINKY-DOO from Scottie McClue, I say. The only thing is when I lean forward, apparently you can only see my hat. There we go. Mind you, that's probably no bad thing from your point of view. Back we go to the chat. What do we got here? Hi, everybody. DINKY-DOO. I love you, Scottie. DINKY-DOO. Thank you, Martin. Very kind of you. How are you? Says, who's that? I love Her Majesty says, how are you? DINKY-DOO. Scottie, it's been so long, not at all. So there we go. Hello, Scottie. Hello, everybody. So Coelho, right, got that. Absolutely, fair enough. There we go. To the telephones as soon as you possibly can. We've a lot to get through tonight and so little time to do it. And can you believe we're already halfway through the show? I can hardly believe it myself. I'll make sure the phones are open for you and we'll get everybody on here. Tremendous. There you go. Yep, everything's open on the phones. Not a problem. Martin, every call's good in Scottie McClue's nighttime show. I thank you. You drive back and forth to Edinburgh, Jerry. I've driven back and forth to Edinburgh every single night. Scottie, that man who was arguing with you, I didn't see his point. Kareem's great listening. Chris Guitar, Kareem is outstanding listening. And we don't know what's up with matey boy. Kareem thinks he might not be the full shilling. I thought that was quite interesting. Do give us a call as soon as you possibly can. How was my phone call? Good, Martin, of course. Your phone calls are always good. I think he had a bee in his bonnet. I think he did have a bee in his bonnet. Maggie, thank you for my beautiful red roses. Interesting, says Chris. Maggie sent me half a dozen red roses on TikTok. How gorgeous is that? If you've just joined us, you're watching Scottie McClue. This is the internet phone-in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed and that you've tapped the bell, because then you'll get your notifications, because sometimes you have a random pop-up and it just reminds you the phone-in's on. So everybody watching on YouTube should be fully subscribed and tap the bell. You'll see the red subscribe button. Should we have a bigger subscribe button on it? Is there any reason why you're not subscribed? Do spill the beans. Excellent stuff. Twitch, Scottie_McClue. Follow us on Facebook. You'll see the Facebook Live. Get onto that as soon as you possibly can. I love Scottie McClue. Best man ever. Thank you, Martin. DINKY-DOO. Wonderful. Thanks, Jerry. Very much appreciated. You got a guest request. Yeah, come on, Sue, here, and let's have your chat. Always lovely to hear from you. Kareem Glasgow, no problem. Kareem is no problem. So, Sue, here, you can come on and be a guest. We would all love that. That would be fabulous. To the telephones, you'll see the number in front of you. If you've been ringing and ringing and ringing and redialing and redialing, now's your chance. There is a line free. There you go. Fantastic. Just open up and let us know that everything's happening there. If you've never phoned Scottie McClue, now's your chance to make that your first call. Very important, because once you've done it, you will never, ever, ever go back to wishing you had, because you've done it. Woo! Hot in the studio tonight, of course. And remember, nobody can take it away from you. That's what I love about it. Here's Dilbus, DINKY-DOO from Sydney in Australia. Scottie. Fantastic. We love it. I don't support the death penalty. Violent states should not use violence as punishment. So, Kevin, what would you do with terrorists who, murder innocent people? What would you do about that? There you are. Let's have your answer for that, Kevin. You're saying you don't support the death penalty. You know, why should these people be allowed to live if they've taken a life? Where does the phrase spill the beans come from? Ah, Neil O'Gormley. Most of our fabulous phrases are nautical in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But it might be an interesting one to find. Where does that come from? Spilling the beans. Well, it means telling everybody. So spill the beans. You've got cake, Jerry Nichols, strawberry and almond, says Suzanne. Very nice, Suzanne. There we are. So, guys, if you don't support the death penalty, then do say what you think the punishment should be for murdering innocent people unprovoked. Have a good night, everybody, and you, Silent Wind, DINKY-DOO. I think you have to accept, Sue here, accept what? We don't know what you're on about. Diane says, ban Kareem, says Billy. Why on earth would you ban Kareem, Billy? Let's have a wee bit more common sense. What's wrong with Diane that she's taken the roo with Kareem? I ask you. To the telephones, can everybody share the platform they're watching? Share your YouTube platform, share Facebook, share Twitch, share LinkedIn. We're only on 4 platforms. If we can do this kind of phone in on 4 platforms, what can we do on 30? I ask you. Scottie McClue for Prime Minister. Eddie Doyle, thank you very much. Definitely the death penalty, says Neil O'Gormley. Ring the bell to me is last orders at the bar. So, Rab, if something doesn't ring a bell, but I'm talking about YouTube, tap the bell. What does that mean in the world of bars and drinking? Come on, Rab. What does tap the bell? Yes, so get onto the YouTube channel, subscribe and tap the bell. I have to actually take all the horses to the water, but I can't make them drink. You've actually got to do it. So tonight, let's see how high we can get the subscribers on YouTube. Everybody, go and subscribe to Scottie McClue's YouTube channel. Yes, Scottie McClue, the internet phone-in, hashtag FLOTI. Sad day down in Essex. Absolutely, Danny. We've just been discussing that. Do you agree with Prince William that the billions being spent on space tourism projects would be better directed towards environmental issues? I do, Murray. I tend to agree with virtually everything Prince William says, because the man is incredibly switched on. He really is. See you, Jimmy, says Eddie Doyle. Absolutely. Have a good night, everybody. Dinky-Doo. Death penalty is out. Why would the death penalty be out? Gives a reason. Scottie, what do you think about Trident? Do you think it's needed? Yes, I think you need the big stick in case anybody acts up. Seems a lot of expense and a lot of bother when you think, well, a nuclear war would finish everybody anyway. But I think, yes, you do need the deterrent, is the deterrent. Scottie, would you ever consider joining a political party? I don't think so, Jordan, because they might try to guilt trip me into agreeing with something I didn't agree with, saying you need to toe the party line. And we just do not do that. Yes, indeed, we search the truth. Fantastic. Hello, you're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. It's Danny from Billericay.
Danny from Billericay. What a privilege to have you on in Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo to you there. Very sad day down here in Essex.
Yes, indeed, Danny. And, you know, serious condolences to Sir David's family and, you know, to all the people of Essex and to all the people of the UK, because we've lost one of our own, whether or not you agreed with their point of view.
Yeah, well, I knew David really well, and he was, years ago, he used to be my MP before he moved to Southend West.
Apparently he was a lovely guy.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was Deputy Mayor of Basildon in 2015.
Wow.
And I was sent out to Southend a few times on jobs, and I used to bump into him quite a bit. And he was he was one of those guys that he could pick up a conversation with you and remember the last time you saw him. Yeah. You know,
that's a huge skill.
It's a huge skill to be able to do that. And he was such a lovely man. It was such a, as you know, I run a radio station, and it was such a shock this afternoon to get this, you know, this breaking, revolving news throughout the whole of the afternoon, you know, and people have got their own stories of him. And when I last saw him, I was out on a deputy mayor job, and the bus company were operating new buses, and he came up to me and he said, "Oh, you're Danny from Basildon, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, that's right." And he said, "Well, what you must do is you must stand in front of the bus that says Basildon for your picture."
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, and he took a load of photographs of pictures. But one of my colleagues at work, John, said to me that he did his work experience at the House of Commons because he lives in Southend, and he did it at David Amos's office. And he said he'd just turned 16 years old, and someone had said to David that it was John's birthday. And during the lunch hour, David Amos came back with a load of cakes and pop to celebrate this young lad's birthday. That's the type of guy that he was, you know.
Yes, and a terrific human dynamo as well. Tremendous energy.
Yeah, tremendous energy. He wasn't in it to be a cabinet minister. He was in it for the people.
He was in it to represent his constituency. That's my kind of MP.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what he got. You know, he was made a Sir in 2015. And I can remember bumping into him and saying, "Oh, hello, Sir David." He says, "Less of a Sir."
Yeah. No, I mean, it's wonderful. Absolutely. No, that's just the way to be. And what, Danny, what wonderful memories. I'm so grateful to you for A, coming on, and B, for sharing this with us.
No problem at all. And I thought I heard you talk about it, and I thought I'll just give you a quick call. So
no, that is so much appreciated.
You take care.
Listen, keep in touch with us. You're a top man.
Will do. Take care.
Take care. Bless you. Thanks, Danny. Excellent. Danny from Billericay there in Essex. And, of course, knew Sir David Amos so very well, who sadly lost his life today. And we pray for his family. We send deep, deep condolences. It doesn't matter what party. We've lost one of our own today for absolutely no reason. You're live in Scotty's Phone In. Who's that?
Hello, Scotty. It's Martin again.
Martin, Dinky-Doo, how are you?
You too. I was thinking, see the other platforms, would you consider Instagram?
Yes, I don't think, but I don't know that my, I would need to check that my restreamer covers that.
Because
I have an Instagram account. I don't know if you're following me. SCOTTIE McCLUE 1.
I maybe add you later. The thing I saw, somebody on your chat saying, I wish there was a SCOTTIE McCLUE TV channel. Eddie was saying.
Wow, how amazing. We should look into that. The only thing is, I would need to get a backer for that. So it would need to be somebody out there who's feeling flush, of which there are many, many people, believe it or not.
Do you like taking photographs of different, do you like taking photos with a camera every sunsets and all that?
Oh yeah, I love all that sort of stuff. I mean, but I end up with a load of photos and my phone says, "You're getting dangerously close to no memory. Start to delete some of your photos." And I look at them and I think, I've only looked at them a couple of times at the very most.
Yes. How long ago was that since the Titanic sank?
1912.
Wow.
My favourite teacher was born that year. My grandfather was 29. No, wait a minute, 31 when Titanic sank. My grandfather was 31. He remembered it very clearly.
I think, what other things are they?
And I'll tell you this, how's this, Martin? The chairman of the White Star Line got onto a lifeboat and managed to survive the sinking, right? The chairman of the White Star Line. And I think it was Sir Bruce Ismay. And I've stayed in his house. But he was a broken man because he felt deeply embarrassed about what happened, because it tended to be women and children to the lifeboats.
What about the Royal Britannia boat?
The Royal Yacht Britannia, HM Yacht Britannia. Well, she's at Leith. You can go and see her. A beautiful, beautiful thing. Built at John Brown's in Clydebank. Gas turbines, steam turbines. And she was launched on the 16th of April, 1953, the day my sister was born. What about that?
Wow. Do do you like yachts and that? Do you like going in yachts? Like
Yes, everything, anything to do. I used to work on boats. My first job at the age of 12 was the cabin boy on the ferries on the Clyde. Yes, and I used to, they would put the bow against the ladder and I would shoot up with a rope like a wee monkey.
Question.
Still miss it. I still miss it.
Yes. What do you work as?
What do I work as?
What's your job?
Oh, all sorts of things, mainly television, radio, education, and information.
Cool.
So I do quite a bit of teaching and lecturing.
So how's all your rules coming along? Like, what do you think of that matey boy? I think he's quite funny.
You think he's a funny man? Well, we shall give him another chance then.
Because I didn't like him calling you these names a couple of nights ago. It was quite shocking.
It was a wee bit shocking. That was a bit below the belt, but we'll see how he gets on.
That was very, very funny when you said to me, "Hello, it's Matthew."
All that carry on. Lovely to hear from you, Martin, and Dinky-Doo.
So I'll phone again tomorrow night.
Yes, we'll be on tomorrow night, Saturday night, 10 until 11.
Okay, love you a lot.
Love you lots, lad. Dinky-Doo. So there we are. Now, what have we got here? Very, very busy tonight. It was great to have the morning chat with the fabulous Lord McClue. James, it's been wonderful that week. We can't do it next week because I'm back at work. Does anybody remember Calder Park Zoo? And did anyone visit? Jerry, are you talking about the zoo at Uddingston? Is that Calder Park? I used to sail out of Inverkip, crewed on a Moody 36. Great times up and down the west coast. Murray O'Donnell, the Moody 36, a wonderful craft. A big sailing yacht. And I would have said you could probably go a fair old distance in that. Fantastic. We can only see your hat, Scotty. Right, well, I'm sitting back. I'm going to do a lot more sitting back. I agree, says Jerry. We need Trident for the world is dodgy. Without it, Danny. Also, terrible incident down in Essex. Without it, sorry. Danny, a terrible incident down in Essex. That was great of Danny to call from Billericay. I wish there was a Scottie McClue TV channel. Eddie, there might well be yet. And we will put on all sorts of genuinely interesting things that people can't leave it alone. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Hello? Dinky-Doo? What did that guy say he was? Sounded very strange. This is not a confessional. There we are. I agree. We need the Trident. Absolutely. Unfortunately, the MP who represents my constituency thinks the world revolves around him, says Murray. It was great to have the morning chat. Oh, yes, we've done that one. Yes, Jerry, says D. I remember the zoo. So anybody else remember it? Lovely big beam on her, Scotty, a floating caravan. Yes, Murray, they were lovely. Built to excellent scantlings. There's a good word for you. Do you like that one? The scantlings of the boat. And you want a beamy ship, really, to be honest with you. I would have said probably you're looking for about 25% of length at the waterline for your beam. Would anybody agree with that? Any naval architects watching? Come and give us a call. The number's in front of you. Let me just change that for you. There we go. How's that, guys? A bit of a change there, and you've got the number in front of you. Give us a call. For those of you that have just joined us, you're watching Scottie McClue, #FloatEye, the first lord of the internet. We're live on TikTok, and we are, of course, live on YouTube. Subscribe and tap the bell. Do it now. You'll get your notifications, and then you'll know when the phone in's on. Phone in tends to be Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 p.m. till 11. Does that suit everybody? That's what we need to know. Dinky-Doo, you're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Scotty, how you doing? It's Kareem.
Kareem, lovely. I think that guy thought he was through to his local priest the last call there. You know, he was treating the place as a confessional.
Yes, I know. Scotty, a wee quick question to you, and it's for people to think about and debate. We're approaching Guy Fawkes, and I have 2 dogs, as you know, and the fireworks, should they be banned, or should we just have them for display, like when you go down to Strathclyde Park or up at Calder, Callender Park, etc.?
I would say we should only have public displays. I think we should ban fireworks completely. When I lived in Manchester, it was like being in a war zone, and the dog was absolutely scared stiff. I was watching the telly, and one of my side tables, listen to me, one of my side tables suddenly went over, ornaments all over the place. The dog had tried to get in behind the table. So, I mean, the weasel, and I myself was actually quite shocked when I went outside and there was just this, and lying about me were all sorts of spent rockets and squibs. And I thought, this is just not right, because it was so heavily populated. I lived in Salford, and it was very, very heavily populated round there, between Eccles and Salford itself. And it was like being in a war zone.
Oh, God.
And I would definitely ban it. Plus, I also think there's a sectarian issue. I mean, Guy Fawkes was a Yorkshireman, Guido Fawkes, and he was a Yorkshireman, and he was a Roman Catholic. So everybody says, right, burn the Roman Catholic. Now, I mean, when was the gunpowder plot? Was it 1641 or 1661? I'm just trying to, it's just slipped my mind. I used to have these dates on the tip of my tongue, but it was in the mid 1600s anyway. And at that time you had civil war around, you had the priest holes for hiding the priests. You had all the throne went from Protestant to Catholic, Catholic to Protestant, all that sort of idea, because it wasn't regarded as non-Catholic until 1701, when you had the Act of Secession pushed through by Queen Anne, through the Parliament as well, and passed by 1 vote.
There you go.
That's how weak it was. And I think if something's passed by 1 vote, then they should make sure that it's a light touch thing.
Yes.
I think it should be a light touch thing, and what have you. So, from that point of view, the throne has always gone one way or the next. We know about Henry VIII. He just wanted away from Rome, so he could be an adulterer.
Well, yes.
He just wanted to be an adulterer, get divorced, of as many wives as you like, all that stuff. So it's just, his excuse was making the throne non-Catholic for bad behavior.
Yes, yeah.
And even to this day, I mean, the Queen, we call her the head of the Church of England. She is the supreme governor of the Church of England. Now, Henry brought in the Church of England for the purposes of adultery and to get away from Rome. But nowadays, if you look at a high Anglican service, it's virtually the Mass.
Right.
A high Anglican service, you'd be lucky if you got a fag paper between that and a Holy Mass.
Right, okay.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Lovely, light-hearted story for you. An American ran into St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, and he said to one of the guides, he said, "Excuse me, buddy, can you tell me when the next Mass in here is?" He said, "Not really." He said, "The last one was over 400 years ago."
You'll be waiting a while longer.
We wait a wee while, because, of course, St. Giles, John Knox, the father of, the father of Protestantism, you could say. Certainly in Scotland.
Scotty, they were talking about, and I know this was last year, if they were going to sell like fireworks to the public, there was talk about it having no noise at all. So if you set the firework off, up it goes right into the sky. There is no noise. All you're going to just see are the beautiful colours.
Well, that's another one, Kareem. But the other thing, but fireworks in the wrong hands can also be dangerous. And you get a lot of silly youths who are not thinking. They're non-consequential thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you get that, there's always a cause. They'll maybe chuck a firework at their mate thinking it's a laugh. They could blind them for life, kill them. You know, they'll maybe, you know, hold on to a banger a second or two long and blow off the top of their thumb.
Well, a few years ago, I didn't go last year, but the year before and the year before that, I tried to go to quite a lot of them because they're on different dates. And I went to one, it was down at the pier in Helensburgh.
Yes.
With the big rocks are, and they had like a fireworks and bonfire display. And I was raging that there was this young couple, they had a toddler, and it was very cold, big cotton hat, cotton jacket, cotton gloves, and they gave her the sprinkler, you know, the wee sprinkles that you like.
Yes.
And it was, to me, I thought that her gloves are going to go on fire. It was unbelievable. I didn't want to say anything. My friends were in shock as well. We kept looking, you know, just to make sure the toddler was going to be okay. But that was something that always stuck in my mind, that I just thought people's stupidity, especially when it comes to fireworks, bonfire, they need to be careful.
Yeah, they do need to be careful. And, you know, I mean, one of the best fireworks displays I've ever seen was at Dunoon Pier, the night of the Cowell Games. Now, I don't know if they still do it. Maybe somebody will tell us. But I used to get given tickets for the Cowell Games, stand tickets. It was outstanding. And we saw the lot, and we used to sit beside the chieftains, one of them being Lieutenant Colonel Colin Mitchell of the Argylls at the time of the Aden emergency.
Right.
And I have been very privileged to be a chieftain myself at the Bearsden and Milngavie Highland Games. You know, and it was just a wonderful experience because they'll play you Chieftain's Salute, which is Highland Laddie, played by the massed bands twice over.
Right.
And the chieftain takes the salute and then presents the prizes to the bands. And very often at setups like that, you could have maybe 100 pipe bands. So the prize giving's a lengthy thing, and the pipe majors will come up and get it, and then the drum majors for their competitions. But it was a wonderful experience. It really was, and I felt very, very lucky because I was following in the footsteps of things like Sir Douglas Bader, the air ace, and Red Rum, the racehorse, and George Tackey, the actor, you know.
That's a privilege.
It was an absolute privilege, Kareem. It really was. And you know, you can't, you know, you just can't believe these situations. And it really was a privilege for me. But what I was going to say to you, this tremendous fireworks display, but I'm trying to recall another wonderful fireworks display is in Oban. And people come from far and wide. Now, I'm sure it was Oban one year that a computer failure, I think, set off the whole lot, and the whole display lasted about a minute.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if you remember reading about that.
Places, actually.
What was that one, Kareem?
That's happened in quite a few places, actually.
Yeah, just it must be because in the days of technology, wonderful things can happen, but a fault and off you go, you know.
It's all done. Before I go, Scotty, I had I remember one year I took the dogs up to Loch Lomond, and it was Guy Fawkes. So it was in the early hours of the morning. It was a Friday or Saturday night.
Kareem, 2 seconds. I'm going to have to say goodnight to our beautiful TikTokers. There we go. Say night.
Night, everybody. TikTok.
Night to the TikTokers. Go on, Kareem.
Sorry, so I was up walking at the park in Loch Lomond and looking down at it's just such a beautiful walk, and it was a starry night, and just, it was the early hours in the morning, but one of the big hotels on the other side of the loch started their fireworks, so I was in the distance,
wow.
the dogs were fine, but just looking at that in the early hours of the morning, it was just absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. Kareem, we're out of time. Good night and God bless.
I know, Dinky-Doo, Scottie.
Dinky-Doo, lad. Tremendous calls. That's our Kareem. Good night, everybody.